Hello beautiful people, happy weekend, and this is my part 2 of my astrological forecast for the upcoming week, in which I'm covering the full moon in Capricorn we will be experiencing on July 10th, which is Thursday. And in this part I'm going to pull some cards. So once again, if you would like to see the astrological part with the interpretation of the chart and stuff like that, then tune into part 1. In this part I am going to be pulling cards, which is what I'm going to start doing right now. So I'm going to start with the Queen of the Moon as usual, because it is a lunation, a full moon. So let's see what is the energy for this Capricorn full moon 2025, which is actually the only lunation we have in Capricorn this year. So let's see. Okay, Capricorn full moon, what is the energy? Capricorn full moon, what you've got for us. Okay, here is a card. Purity. That's interesting because this is a snow moon, right? Snow moon. So this looks to me like a full moon, but sometime in winter. So purity. So yeah, the next lunation in Capricorn will be in January 2026, which will be the next new moon in Capricorn. So you can think back to the new moon in Capricorn 2024, which we actually had a 2 of, because we started 2024 with new moon in Capricorn in January 11th, and we ended 2024 with new moon in Capricorn on December 30th or 31st. So you can think back, you know, what would you like to see? What did you see it in December 2024 as this, you know, last day of the year? So thinking about our, you know, what do you wish? What are your intentions? You know, what is your vision that you want to create? You know, because with the Capricorn, with Saturn, you know, it is the manifester. You know, he does grant you the power to manifest, to take the unseen into seen, you know, the energy into form, right? You know, but to me this is kind of like, you know, the purity of the heart. You know, where is it coming from? What is the intention for creation of that which you desire? So now with this full moon in Capricorn, because this is the full topic of this Capricorn lunation, that we have a choice. You know, this is the first lunation with Uranus in the sign of Gemini for many of us in our lifetimes, unless you've been around in 1949. So we have a choice, you know, what do you want to create and what is the intention for creating it, you know? So it's like this purity, you know, the purity of heart, those that want to create these timelines that are of a higher frequency. I feel that they will start manifesting much faster now, especially with Uranus being in the sign of Gemini. But yeah, you know, with the full moon, it's an illumination of what got seeded or what you wish to get seeded in the next cycle, you know, and now you can make the adjustments that, okay, I want to create this, but I'm not quite where I thought I would be. You know, what are the adjustments I need to make, you know, with the South Node trining this full moon and North Node trining the Sun, you know, and Mars and South Node being in a closing phase conjunction. What do I need to change? What do I need to release? What do I need to adjust? What do I need to let go of in order for this pure desire, this purity? Like, in a sense, you can see everything is kind of white on this card, like this pure, like white canvas, in order to start anew, you know, with the Saturn in Aries. You know, this is the final lunations before before Saturn stations retrograde, which is 3 days later on 13th. And this is the first lunation with Neptune retrograde, because Neptune already stationed retrograde this Friday. So this is what we've got, you know. If you want to start fresh and you want to experience life differently, and that's your desire, that's your intention, what needs to be adjusted, you know, what needs to be changed. And now with Saturn station in retrograde on the 13th, he will help you, you know, because he will push you go inside and to work on it, you know, because Saturn is like 8 of Pentacles. You need to work on it, work for it, right? But there is a reward, you know, at the end. 9 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, you know, there is everything you wanted, but you need to do the work, right? Especially now with the South Node in the sign of Virgo. I'm sorry, I'm just adjusting my earplugs because there is a noise outside. So South Node being a sign of Virgo, Mercury being a sign of Leo still, but second decan, you know, which is Sagittarius decan. So we have the opportunity to change the story, create a new story, but it takes some work, it takes some effort, because, you know, unless I change, nothing in my life will change, right? So with the full moon, it's reminding you, okay, if you want things to change, if you want to start anew, you want this fresh snow, this fresh start, what do you need to change? How do you need to change? You know, to become a frequency match, to attract that which you desire, you know? And then at the bottom, we have the acceptance. Yes, exactly. Because in order to change anything, first you need to accept what is. Be here now, you know, and this is the number 4, you know, and this is number 30, which is the creation, you know, number 30, the co-creation, right? But first, you know, the structure, four, walls, the like, the foundation of the house, these pillars of the house, the first step towards change is the acceptance of what is, and also accepting help, accepting that everything at this present moment is perfect, even though it is far from perfect, from the ego perspective. Like, what you mean, let me give you the reasons, let me give you the polarity, let me give you the judgment. But from the spirit perspective, and this is where you have to be aligned. You have to be aligned with your higher self, the acceptance that, okay, my life, it is the way it is right now, because there is something that I'm learning. There is a meaning, there is a purpose for it, why I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing, why the world is experiencing what it's experiencing. So it's acceptance of what is. And that brings you to the point of neutrality. That, okay, when I stop fighting against it, when I stop judging it, and I just accept what is for what it is, then it can change. Because then you are at the 0 point, and from there you can go anywhere, which is the Uranus in Gemini, right? So yeah, and you can see all these doves, the doves, the forgiveness, the peace of the heart. You see, like, this is the creative power, when the your human self and the higher self are in alignment, because the higher self is not like, like, oh, you idiot, why are you still in that situation? It's like, okay, I'm waiting patiently for you. The way you feel, I'm communicating for you, whether this is what we still in alignment with, or whether we already outgrown this, which is usually the case for most people. We outgrown the experience that we having, and that's when it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good, like the job that you wanted 20 years ago, and now it's like, oh my god, I don't even want to go to work anymore. So it's about, okay, let's just accept that I outgrown this situation. There's nothing wrong with this, but I outgrown it. So accept that this is where I'm at, and in order to create this canvas, something has to change. What needs to change? It starts from within, right? This is all this year 9, the Hermit. The answers are within. So let's see about what the Sun wants to tell. The Sun in the sign of Cancer, Sun in the sign of Cancer, in a trine with the North Node in Pisces, a lot of intuition, but it has to be grounded, obviously. Moon in the sign of Capricorn, the Earth, it has to be grounded, yeah, purity and acceptance, you're still having a human experience. So yeah, let's see what this Sun in the sign of Cancer, very intuitive Sun, very focused on this feeling and nurturing, self-nurture, the mothering, reparenting yourself. So your cup is full, so that you have more to give. So then you can go through this 8 of Pentacles and the forgiveness and all the work and all the healing that needs to be done. But you can't do it if you're empty, if there is nothing to give, if there's nothing to show up for. First your cup has to be full. So let's see what the Sun has to say. Okay, what is the message from the Sun in Cancer with regards to this full moon in Capricorn, please, Spirit? Oh, okay, there's too many cards. Okay, we have the welcome at the bottom. Okay, something, again, beauty. We've seen that one before. Focus on what's beautiful. Okay, what is the card? Focus. I just said the word focus. Here you go, focus. Yeah, another number 4. Perfect. Another number 4, just like this one. Focus. You can create anything you want, and look, the candle in the head, crown chakra, and usually we light a candle when it's like, the evening, the quiet time, the time of stillness. A lot of people journal with candles or meditate with candles, or when you go to take a bubble bath when it's just you time, so you can think, so you can, or you don't have to think, or you can just not think, you can just switch off and just relax, and like there is this 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it's just you time, so when you just have the time with yourself where you can fully focus on your inner world, and then suddenly new things get clear, new things get created. You see, like there's like kind of like a fog, then suddenly the fog lifts, and there is, I can see, like, is this like a snake behind her? I don't know, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, there is all this. But also it could be like the connection with heaven, because you can see this as a clouds. Focus, the solar cycle 4. Number 4, the foundation You create the foundation from acceptance, and then focus on what it is that you wish to create, you know, and you will not see it. That's why her eyes are covered. You will not see it, you know. You have to envision it by being focused, you know, and don't allow anybody to meddle with your visions, right? And then we have the fertility. Yeah, this is number 18. Yeah. So everything that we're going through, you know, this number 9, year number 9, you know, it's actually creating a fertile soul for the future, you know. And this is all like flora, fertility, this because she's got a sunflower, you know, which is like a Leo season, the creation, right? What do you want to create? From the purity of your heart and your focus and acceptance of what is, you know, because if you resist, it persists, it doesn't go anywhere. You can create the abundance that you desire. You can create anything, the joy, the fulfillment, you know, the birth of the new, just like this one, the birth of the new. This is a clear canvas. What do you want to birth? What do you want to create? So the full moon in Capricorn is technically, you know, especially because Saturn is on 1 degree and is just about to station retrograde. You are the magician. We are all magicians. You know, we all came here to create. But what are we creating? Okay, before I pull the card from the portal, I just asked the Shaman, mystical Shaman. I wanted to use this deck. I used the Angels and Ancestors last time, which is to me very a Cancer season deck. And then this is very, to me, Capricorn. Straight away, like when I'm thinking Capricorn, yeah, the Shaman, you know, the wise elder Shaman, you know, that has to go, he had to go through the rite of passage and prove, you know, that I can face the devil and I can go to the underworld and survive and drink the poison and be bitten by a snake and all that. So let's see what the Shaman, the wise elder that walk this earth, you know, these shamans are people who were on this planet, you know, there's not just like, oh yeah, it's some kind of like God that I never seen. No, these are people who lived life. So let's see what the Shaman wants to advise with regards to the full moon in Capricorn about this potential of creating the life that you desire with focus and discipline, right? Because that's very Capricornian, discipline. Let's see. The Shaman's message, mystical Shaman, what is the message with regards to full moon in Capricorn? Taming the wind. To me, this is the thoughts. Stilling the mind, taming the wind, the thoughts, the thoughts, taming the wind. When we still the mind, and this is to me again with the focus. This is the same thing, look. It even looks similar, doesn't it? Doesn't it? And this is 55. 55, that's the number 10. That's the next year. And 55, 5, double 5. 5 is the chaos agent, the disruptor. You know, we don't like 5 because it's like, you know, with the 4, it's like, yeah, there's the structure, the stability, you know, and then the 5 comes and it takes it all away. You know, it's like a hurricane, right? So it's like, no, we don't like that. We don't like the things we can't predict, you know, but sometimes they're necessary because they make you focus, they make you question. You know, Mercury is going to go retrograde soon on the 18th. So next lunation, we already have Mercury in retrograde, right? In Leo. So it's like, okay, let's look at this. You know, we had this new moon in Cancer, this full moon in Capricorn, and then Mercury goes retrograde. So, okay, let's look at this. You know, who do you want to be? What do you have to do? Let's tune. Let's really tune in, you know. Is this in alignment? So, you know, the thoughts have to be tamed, you know, and also you have the Nautilus shell here. You know, the cycles, everything goes in cycles. And also the birds, you know, the tree, it looks like a fall. Taming the wind, taming the mind, mastering the mind. That's what Jupiter was helping us through his transit in Gemini, mastering the mind. Now we're learning to master the emotions, taming the wind. So you can hear the stillness, the quiet, and that's where all the messages lie. You know, in the stillness and quiet of your heart, you know, being present with yourself. And yeah, and at the bottom we have Pachamama. Number 40. Another number 4. Pachamama. Because the life on this planet depends on it. If we keep just thinking the same thought, doing the same thing, we're gonna distract everything. Ourselves and this planet. It is not just about you. It is about you. Your life is about you, but it's not just about you. Is the alignment. Listen to the wind. Still your thoughts, you know, still your thoughts so you can hear the voice of your soul. and the cries of the Mother Earth. And the Mother Earth will be heard, you know, especially now it's summer, you know, like God knows what the weather's gonna bring, but yeah, with the full moon, because it's time. It's time to create this new foundation that is in alignment with everyone. Look, the Pachamama. Yeah, why? Because it's time. Because we've gone as far as we can go, being disconnect from one another and from the planet. You know, this planet can go on without us easily. Easily. We can't go without this planet. Not at this stage. So, yeah, you know, but that's the thing most of us, including myself, you know, we don't think about every day. We don't think about it, right? Hathor light codes. Okay, let's see the portal. Portal of light activation. So let's see what is the portal that's opening for us. Obviously, we had the 7-7 portal at the beginning of the week with Uranus moving into Gemini for the first time since 1949. So what portals are opening up for us? Also, we just had this Sirius gate, right? This week was Sirius gate open. And now we have these other portals opening, 7-7 portal. 7, obviously, chariot, right? And 7, you know, is the very spiritual number, you know, the learning. In astrology is the Libra, right? 7th house, Libra, the balance, the justice, right? Not everybody will go to the same place. You know, people will choose for themselves based on whether they learned to work with their shadow, you know, the in conjunction to Lilith. We have the Yod. Yeah. Anyway, let's see about the portal. What is the portal, please, Spirit? Okay, we have straight away a card. Akashic Stargate, you know. Again, this card came up last time. Aligned with purpose, crossroad. There is no wrong path. We had exactly the same card last time. There is no wrong path. There is no wrong choice. Whatever you choose is good because, you know, the soul, the source is like, okay, you know, okay, what do you want to choose? You know, which one you want to choose? It all serves purpose and meaning. It's just how does it feel to you, you know? So Akashic Stargate, no wrong choice. We are at the crossroads, absolutely, with the Uranus in Gemini. The timelines are overlapping and crossing and splitting at the same time, you know. And then we have Shambhala initiation. Okay, we're gonna read this one because this one is a new one. Shambhala initiation, retreating to recharge, trusting the process, dharma. What is your path, you know? And here is the golden age of humanity, you know. Focus on that. Focus on that. Look at that. Even here, you know, all that gold, you know, all the yellow in here, you know, the yellow. Focus that there are other things going on in this world, not just the doom and gloom, not just the distraction. Yeah, that's at the forefront because we are programmed, we are wired to always look at the negative, always. It takes a lot of effort. And then you don't want to go into the other extreme, the Pollyanna syndrome, where no negative exists. Like, no, it does. It's part of life, you know. It's the contrast, right? Because how would we know what we want if we don't know what we don't want? You know, if everything is just perfect, how would you know? So yeah, but focus on the one that you can't yet see, you know, this vision in a distance, again, like a looking glass, like we had last time, looking glass. This is coming. It is coming. You know, people who can astro travel into future, they've seen it. The future progressions, right? They've seen it. The world will look very different in few hundred years time, few thousand years. It will be a very different place. But now we're going through this in between. So focus, believe it. Maybe, yeah, you will not sit under the tree, you know, that you planted, but there will be a next version of you that will, you know, so nothing is lost. Yeah, the Shambhala. Let's see about these Shambhala initiations. I'm curious. And then we're just going to pull the major arcana and close with that. Shambhala. Here we go. Retreating to recharge, trusting the process. Shambhala, also known as Shangri-La, is a city of light, said to be hidden somewhere in the Himalayas near Tibet. There we go. According to a theosophical teachings, this etheric retreat is where we can come into contact with some of the greatest spiritual adepts, enlightened teachers, and divine masters to even walk the earth, to ever walk the earth. In Buddhism and Hinduism, Shambhala is said to be home of the god Shiva and of Buddhas, enlightened beings. And in the Bon tradition, every year thousands make a pilgrimage to Mount Kailash, the supposed location of the hidden city, as this is said to bring good fortune. We can visit the etheric retreat of Shambhala during the dream state, astral travel, and meditation. If you feel it is calling you, or that the energies of this gateway seem familiar, you may have been there before. The golden temple of Shambhala sits in the heart of Himalayas, between the physical and non-physical, and is said to appear to seekers who are ready to expand their awareness. It is the sacred energetic temple of all enlightened masters, particularly those who are connected to the Eastern traditions. They form a great galactic and universal council of elders who support the turning of the wheel of Dharma. Dharma is a Sanskrit word that relates to unfolding of our life path, the purpose. Your message: when things quieten down in your life, no, this isn't a failure, but an opportunity to retreat and recharge. In the busyness of the physical world, our spirit is often playing catch up with our body, to the point that it gets used to being overactive and overworked. When the great masters of Shambhala come to you, they are encouraging you to take time to be away from the outer world and dive into the inner world. If you have been moving full speed ahead, this gateway encourages you to slow down and retreat. Take time to gather your energy, spend time in meditation and reflection in order to gain a clear awareness of the current situation. You will uncover many insights and gifts during this period. Realize that there is a master awakening within. I feel this is really closely connected to all the retrogrades we had this month. Obviously Neptune is first, then we have Saturn next week, and then we're going to have Mercury a week later on the 18th, and then we end the month with Chiron retrograde. So we have tons of retrogrades this month alone. So this is definitely going to force us within, especially, like I said, after all of these, the new moon in Gemini, it was like, okay, what is the timeline you're choosing? Full moon in Sagittarius, because let me show you where you are. You can stay there, you can go somewhere different. Now, new moon in Cancer, which is like, okay, what role do you want to play? Who do you want to become in this new timeline? Now, full moon in Capricorn, okay, let me show you what you need to work on, what you need to change, where you lack in discipline, perhaps, doesn't matter, it's not about judgment. And now we're going to have next the new moon in Leo, where we're going to be seeing the purpose of the future. So everything is layers. You see, everything is layers, but the point is that you are aligning with your purpose. Dharma, you are being aligned with your purpose. You have a choice. You have a choice which way you want to get there, but you're going. Either way, you go in. We all go in. Okay? So yeah, so this is a beautiful energy. Not necessarily easy, but beautiful, nevertheless. Because the things don't change when things are easy, things change when things are chaotic and challenging, that's where great change happens. So yeah, so is the pressure, right? All right, final card, Major Arcana. What is the energy of this week, in the middle of which we are experiencing full moon in Capricorn? What is the energy and the full moon in Capricorn energy? Full moon in Capricorn, what do you have for us? The World, of course. The World, Saturn card. 21. Yeah, something has ended, so something new can be created. Number 3, the expansion of consciousness, all the fixed signs. We have all the fixed signs here, right? The Taurus, the Aquarius, this is representing Scorpio, I believe. And what is the Leo? Yeah. Yeah. Things are ending, right? We know that Uranus is just about to move into the sign of Gemini. There's a very, very different energy from Uranus in Taurus. And Uranus is the rule of Pluto. So very, very different energy. Things are ending. So the new things can begin, After this is a Fool again. This is the last card. Last card. This is the last year with Saturn in Pisces, even though we're going to have Saturn in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces at the beginning of 2026, but until January for Neptune, February for Saturn. So, yeah, it's like also like take your magic stick and create, this is like you graduated. We graduated as a humanity, from that lesson. So that's it. And at the bottom is the Chariot. Oh, yeah, we've been talking about the Chariot. Number 7, of course, he had to turn up. Chariot. Mastering, right? This is the Cancer card. The conscious and the unconscious. When you're in charge of both, you can create whatever you want. Look at all the abundance, you know, also in co-creation with the high priestess, you know, the moon, high priestess, the intuition, you know. So yeah, there we go. That's it. The answers are hiding within. This is a lesson for all of us, myself included. So anyway, guys, 25 minutes, super long. So I'm gonna close it here. I would like to close this space, thank my higher self, my spirit guides, ancestors, angelic team, ascended masters, Akashic record keepers, my astrological team, all the creator of the cards and the cards themselves, and all the beings of light that were present, Pachamama as well, all the elementals. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Thank you everyone for watching. And once again, if you're interested in booking a reading with me alone, then you can do so on my website. I'm running the 25% off sale until the end of Cancer season, and also wait for my announcement on Monday with regards to the collaborating offering that will be available from Monday onwards. And you find out more in the next episode of Beyond Application, which will be released on 7/7 portal. So with that, I wish you all a wonderful rest of the weekend, great week ahead, great Capricorn full moon, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Much love everyone, and bye for now.